Hi guys, and welcome back to another season and another episode. The final season in its current form, I've decided. Season 17 will be the final season on YouTube of Polonia Warszawa in this form. When we do the streams, we'll still be doing like season update videos. That way it will kind of be like a half an hour, 45-minute run through of kind of just what's gone on, basically. For those of you that might not be able to catch the streams, and for those of you that might just be interested in that kind of stuff, I might be able to show some extra bits and bobs in those as well. I decided that this summer would be the best time for me to have the ultimate blowout, basically, because we had so much money sloshing around, and even more came in. There's been a lot of outs, bigger than usual, really, and some of them have been less than ideal, but I've also spent an awful lot of money, and I've broken our transfer record quite comfortably. So there's that. Now, since it is also the start of the week, it is time to thank new patrons, and this week, thank you for Mark Piers and for Kyle Selleck, who upped his pledge as well. So both of you, massive thanks to both of you. Everybody else over there as well. That is bloody phenomenal. Seriously. Just thank you so much for the support over the course of this season in FM, and by season I mean like the cycle. You know what I mean? It's just been incredible, genuinely. So thank you guys. Actually, also thank you to Nemo, who also upped his pledge. I just checked my phone and I had another notification. So thank you for that as well. That's just incredible. Champions League. That is my ultimate goal this year. I want to. I don't know if we're going to be able to win it again. We've done it twice, but last year was just a bit of a mess in all kind of areas. However, I think this year we can do better. I want to reach the final. I don't care if we win it or not, although I would like to, because 3 out of 4 would be pretty. No, 3 out of 5 would be pretty impressive for us, to be honest. So I'd really like to do that. The reason I started on the sponsors page is because I can't really spoil much from here. You can see still earning a lot of money. This general one here will decrease by 20% when we're relegated. God, what are we going to do, lads? In case anyone was interested, the Zag manager actually won manager of the season in the league last year, which is pretty impressive. And it got them into Europe, basically. And they've actually started the league season very strongly. However, they have managed to muck up the European side of things, and as a result, they are the only side that didn't actually get to the group stages. So we only have 5 this year, which is a bit of a shame. Lek didn't exactly. They weren't brilliant, in all honesty. I think they won both of their games. They won the first the first tie they won on penalties in the end, I think, and the second one I think they had to win in extra time without actually winning either of the. I don't think they actually won a game in getting there. They just drew all of them, but they did manage to sneak through in the end, so that's good. And obviously, Katowice comfortably into the Champions League as well. However, what it should be said is that Lechia comfortably qualified for their group stages in the Europa League, and Legia will be joining them in there as well. In fact, Legia will automatically through. You know what I mean? They're in. So we've got 5 out of 6. It's not bad, but I don't know how good it could be. Oh, and Leipzig actually won the Champions League. So, yeah, the experiment is complete. We were also subject to a takeover bid from a consortium that wanted to float us on the stock market. I got very, very excited, and then it fell through. And because we just can't have nice things here, can we? Right, so there's still plenty more admin and bits to talk about, some interesting tidbits as well that have happened across the summer, but I think we just kind of need to jump straight into transfers. Now, I'm going to start with the outs, and some of them you're going to be like, but there is a reason why some of these guys have had to leave, unfortunately, and it was, I feel like I've not been able to hang on to players as much. It's weird. It was actually harder to hang on to players this time. I think it might have been because of our lack of success in Europe. But we're still one of the highest rep teams in Europe. So you'd think there'd be less teams that players would want to go to. But I don't know. It doesn't seem to have caught up with us completely yet. Some of them are fine, but some of them aren't. Weird. Anyway, let's get into this. First transfer out is Alain Olivier, the young Swissman. We talked about him in the analysis video about how I felt like Rafael Maka might be able to do a better job as a backup this season than Alain Olivier. And when Palace came in quite early in the window with a bid, this wasn't one of those ones I had my hand for. This was me going, yeah, I think this is probably a sensible idea for us. So in the end, not as much money as I would have liked. Eventually, it was only 13.75 million, which is still a decent chunk of change considering we've had £1 million for him, but I would have liked a bit more in all honesty. And annoyingly, we had another deal on the table that would have got more money, but he went to Palace instead. I don't know. Next up is Andrea Falvella. So this was a very weird one. Basically, Freitas is almost always happy to stay. This summer, for whatever reason, I did the usual thing where he wants to leave. I got a player to talk to him. They didn't work. So I do the usual thing. I go discuss him with him. I usually go for the atmosphere is great. And he usually goes, yeah, I wouldn't want to leave, mate. But for some reason, when I clicked it, it just goes straight to, I'm not prepared to go over this subject again. And I'm like, we didn't talk about it before. We've never spoken about this, mate. So I don't know what that was about. It feels like a slight bug because usually you get the kind of, he'll come back with something else. But no, nothing. So I was a bit perturbed by that. So then he started basically kicking off about wanting to move to Spurs. Then they started coming in for Falvella as well, and I thought I might be able to dissuade them from going after him, because that was the only club he wanted to join, if I could sell them someone else who I feel like is not quite on his level. So I was able to sell them Andrea Falvella, and as a result, they stopped going after Roberto Freitas. Not only that, at the end of the window, he went, actually, I'm all right to stay now, and he signed a new 5-year contract. So panic averted, and I've had to do this twice this summer with different players. Bit unfortunate, but it's the best we could do. However, on the plus side, we did get £49.5 million from Tottenham. So a guy who was our record signing at 13 million when I brought him in has just moved on for close to 50 million. So I'm all right with that, to be perfectly honest, because don't worry, we've got the llama, and I have signed some other centre-back options, including breaking our transfer record on one more on that in a minute. But the biggest out is Treverio. And unfortunately, now, this one I'm not quite so bothered about, although he did force the move and I would have rather he didn't. Because we're obviously stacked in this position with Carroll and Gorosito technically, and of course my man Vicente. So I'm not super bothered, but I would have liked to have kept him after what we discovered in the analysis video. But what happened with this one is PSG came in and said they wanted Vicente. And I thought, please don't. I would quite like to keep him at the club. And then they also wanted Treverio. So I figured, well, if they're only after 2 players in the same position, then we could probably sell them, get them to go after the one that I want to stay least. So I entertained the bids for Treverio, and in the end he did end up moving to PSG, and as a result they dropped their interest in Vicente. It was the only club he wanted to go to, so he didn't sign a new contract, but he is still here and happy to stay, I believe. And more importantly, we got £73 million out of it. So that is the record sale by a country mile. 73 million was how much we sold Treverio to PSG for in the end. It's a shame. I would have liked to have kept him, but for £73 million and the chance to keep Vicente with Carroll coming through, I figured it made the most sense for us. And that was the biggest transfer outlay. As you can see, we've raked in a lot of money. It was 132 million in total for those 3 players. Yeah, Christian Henningsen's gone to Watford on loan for a season. He sprained his ankle. I was going to try and sell him, but no one wanted him. John Martinez has gone to Katowice. This is what I mean. Momir Šerović has gone to Zag, and you can see he has started like a house on fire. Mateusz Vigawa has gone back on loan to Lechia. He nearly moved to Gornik, but then Lechia came swooping in at the last minute and got him back for another year. Prado has also left on loan. This is not a deal I wanted to happen. He kicked up a fuss about not getting much playing time because he wanted to go out on loan, basically. Not about the playing time, he just wanted to go on loan. I said I'd look at it, but I was kind of hoping we could get a bit further forward before he started complaining. Then he started kicking up a fuss, and then I had to loan him to Lyon. Very frustrating, to be honest. We're getting £160,000 a month in the deal, but it's just I don't want to lose him at this point, really. Jez Norris has also gone to Zag. Oh, and lastly, on the final day of the window, Mamadou Boateng moved to Metz on loan, paying us nearly £200,000 a month on top of his wages. So, yeah. First down is Rustam Ushakov, a young Ukrainian striker. Now, he is injury prone. And that is the downside to him, unfortunately. But I felt like for the money we could get him for at the time, I felt like it was a solid deal. He's already got a couple of caps for Ukraine. He's a striker. It was basically me looking at, I really wanted to get a big quality striker this summer. And that was the one thing I was going to spend a load of money on. And I had a deal agreed as well. There's a guy called Ahmed Ragab who plays for Brighton. I nearly got him before he signed for Brighton. But now that he was at Brighton, obviously it meant wages have gone up and his money. But he had a release clause of 86 million and I triggered it. And we had a deal agreed, everything was set to go through, and then in the end he snubbed us and went to Bayern for like £250,000 a week, and we just can't afford that. The maximum amount I've been able to give as wages, I believe, is £140,000 a week. And as a result, we've had the money to go after big players, the sort of £150 million region kind of players. There's a guy at Atletico I was looking for, Colombari, who's a striker, and he's just godlike. Problem is, we could probably afford to trigger the release clause at the time of 170 million, but we couldn't afford the wages because he wanted a minimum of £400,000 a week, and that has been our real problem. Even if I dumped everything onto wages, we couldn't offer any more than that, and that's been our main problem. I've had to sign. That's just been the problem for a long time in this save. Ushakov cost 10.75 million. Next up is Marlon, mainly because he was available, to be honest. £23 million this guy's cost us. I feel like he's kind of like, I wanted to give a bit of more competition to Donny Waterberg on that left-hand side, to be honest. And this was the perfect opportunity to do that, because for 23 million, I felt like there was a lot to like here. He's still only 21 years old. He's got some good PPMs, and I want to see what he's capable of this season. I thought it would be good to have a bit more backup on that left-hand side behind Blaise Lisic, just in case things started to go tits up. Next up is Eduardo Flores. Now, you know who this guy is because I've shown you him. He played for Lechia last season, and you're like, but you've signed a player. Yeah, so this is what happened. I've been watching this guy because he's one of the best players in this division, and I knew it. However, I knew he was going to attract bids from elsewhere eventually, and he did this summer. Everton came in. A load of clubs from like big but not quite top tier Premier League sides came in for him, and I was like, crap, they're going to lose one of their best players. So I matched their bid, and as part of the deal I put back a loan clause that he's gone back to Lechia for the next 2 seasons on loan, and he will never ever play for us. I've basically bought him so that they can keep him. To keep him in Poland. So I was willing to spend the £15 million, or 13.5 I think it was, in the end, just to keep him in Poland playing for Lechia. So yeah, I am a benevolent dictator if nothing more. Next up is Paulo Jorge, or George. I'm guessing it's Jorge. 23-year-old Brazilian striker. The main reason for this is Firmino picked up a hip injury, which was going to keep him out for 8 months. He's not going to be back until after Christmas. So we were really starting to look a bit thin in the striking options. We had Pereira, but he was under transfer bids from Manchester United as well. He has stayed, don't worry. But they never actually came in with a big enough bid for him to be like, I want to leave. So that was good. But yeah, so I went to sign Paulo Jorge, £24 million from Flamengo. I think we signed 2 players from Flamengo in this summer. He's got great dribbling. Well, his dribbling is decent, but he's got great finishing. He's got good first touch. He's 6 foot tall. I like this guy a lot. And I felt like he's a decent addition to the squad, considering £24 million is a reasonable amount, in all honesty. So pretty happy with that, to be fair. And he will, of course, join the ranks as well to give us the backup to Pereira. And, of course, Firmino when he's back. But give us a bit of sort of bit of competition up there as well with Zico, because I didn't want to have to rely on Zico to be the backup striker this season, unfortunately. But on that topic, Firmino did get a new contract because his contract was up next summer, and he finally got his first cap for Brazil before all this happened. So that was really, really nice. I think he's only got 1 cap before he got the injury, which I think he got playing for Brazil. But it's just, I'm really proud of him at 28 years old to get his first cap for Brazil, because he bloody well deserves it. Good lad. Gorosito was also in the World Cup Dream Team, so I earned an achievement for that, and I don't think I've ever got that one. And in the end, we were the second highest spenders in Europe behind City. We spent 173 million in the end, and you're thinking, well, you're not showing anything like that. Save the best for last. This is Gibran Almeida. He's coming from Monaco for £100 million. I nearly bought Ibrahim Poirier back, but for whatever reason, he didn't want to move. But the guy that was slightly better than him and had better sort of reputation, so to speak, was interested. And, £165,000 a week was the maximum I could offer. And I still had to offer a lot of add-ons in order to get that to work, because he's got huge appearance bonuses. But I just thought, you know what, let's really try and strengthen at the back this year, because our front line is phenomenal, and this is what we've got. 6 foot tall, not the tallest, but look at that, 17 heading, great marking, decent passing, good tackling. He's a ball-playing defender as well, so he's got a real knack for things at the back, and I think he's just that little bit better. So him and Freitas with the Llama in there. Pandarovic is still here. We've got Bustos at the club as well. I think we've really strengthened in the back line this year, and I'm more than happy with that. Comfortable club record. The Mexican international's already got 83 caps for Mexico at the age of 24. Gibran Almeida has joined the club. Record transfer at 100 million. I think that might be the most I've ever spent on a player on FM. So, yeah, he's not quite got used to things because he joined on the final day along with Paulo Jorge, but still, I'm a super fan of this guy. So I think we're set up very nicely for the final season. Now you're thinking, who did you get in our group? Well, I'll tell you, this is an easy one as well. We got a really good group. We got Dortmund, which is admittedly quite a tough one, but we also got Shakhtar and Club Brugge. Shakhtar and Club Brugge are not... Shakhtar, I think, were the lowest rated team in pot 3. So we should be all right. Dortmund are a decent side. They're going to be our main competitor, but I think we've done all right against them in the past. They're not as strong as I thought they were. Goals have been somewhat prevalent more this year. We won 8-0 in the Super Cup final. We've got a different level this year, and I don't know where it's come from, but it is here to stay. Lisic got a goal, a hat-trick for Pereira, a penalty from Vicente, because, of course, Rodrigo Montañez, who's staying at the club this year to be a backup in that defensive midfield spot. I totally forgot about him. He's a great player. And Jose Francisco with goals. Lots of early goals in this one as well. We'd also won the previous friendly before this, 23-0, because we did a couple of tours of the Middle East and Asia. Then it was time for the league, and a 6-0 victory over Arca. 1 for Pereira, 2 for Lisic, Vicente, Freitas, and Firmino. This is before he got injured. Then 5-0 against Swansea. You're seeing a pattern here, aren't you? Lisic with a hat-trick this time, and 2 goals in this one for Firmino. Then we finally conceded. 2 goals, but scored 5, so it wasn't so bad. Orozco got a goal. We got an own goal there in there too. 1 for Llama, and 2 more for Blaise Lisic. Notice how his goal scoring has suddenly stepped up a notch this season. Then it was sort of a repeat of the Super Cup final, a 5-0 thrashing of Zag for Posse, Freitas, Gorosito, Albarracin, and a lovely own goal in there too. Vicente missed a penalty. Then a slightly more subdued result away at Katowice, 2 for Pereira, 1 for Blaise Lisic, and he got 2 assists. Then it was a 5-0 over Cracovia, a hat-trick for Ibrahima Pereira, and 2 for Kelvin for Posse. Still another assist for Blaise Lisic. Then 5-0 over Corona, Vicente, Pereira, Chabal, Orozco, and Carroll. Nothing for Blaise Lisic, although, no, he got an assist, never mind. And lastly, a rotated side beat Wodge 2-1. Paulo Jorge scored, Pimentinha scored, and Marlon missed a penalty. Goretzky got injured in this one, but that was not really that important for us. Hassan Mossen got a goal back for them. No big deal. All of that leaves the league looking like this. Amazingly, we are only 2 points clear at the top of the league because Zag are mental. This season, they've been amazing. They've got a plus 19 goal difference after 8 matches. Then you can really see that the teams towards the top are actually starting to finally put a bit of a breakdown on everybody else. This one are starting to try and keep up, but they're not really that close in all honesty. Yeah, to be perfectly honest, there's a real disparity between the top 6 and everybody else now, and I'm alright with that if it means they're going to get stronger. Lisic, 8 goals and 7 assists so far in the league. That is crazy. Gorosito's already got 5 assists as well. Pereira's got 7 goals. Lisic's record so far this year has been unbelievable. Plus 32 goal difference after 24 points on the board. We could be in for a record-breaking season in that sense. Weirdly, the manager Ivan Prelec of Cracovia left to take over the Croatia job. And unfortunately, of course, the Poland job still not available. One day we will get that job, maybe in the streams. So here we are, Champions League. Now, the other games were unfortunately yesterday, and it didn't go quite so well. Katowice lost 2-0 to Mexico. Mexico? To Monaco. But you can see they've got Barca, Juve, and Monaco all in their group. They go and get dicked on. However, for Lech Poznan, they've got Inter, Lyon, and Benfica in their group, and they got a 2-2 draw. So I genuinely think they might have a shot at getting out of that group again. Katowice, though, no, not going to happen. Not going to overdo things. So we're going to go with this system as always. Take things slowly here. So Pereira, Lisic, Carroll, or Vicente. Is Vicente picked a knock? Actually, this is what I mean. Look at Carroll now. He has really announced himself over the past. He had a huge, what I can only describe as a huge growth spurt, it would seem. His attributes didn't change that much. Only the star rating seemed to change. I guess maybe because of reputation, I don't know. For Posse, Orozco, Almeida is not going to play there. Unfortunately, Prado's out loan and Coronel's injured, but thankfully we've got Montañez, and I'm actually quite pleased to give this guy a start. Albarracin, Chabal, and Iglesias, but look at the back line. The back line is absolutely unstoppable, and that's really going to be helpful for us this year. Montañez is probably the weak link, but I've got high hopes because he's done great things for other clubs. So on the bench, we're going to go with the Lama, Veras, Marlon, Ushakov, Pandurovic, Pimentini, and Broniszewski. I think we should be fine, but we'll see. Can I also just say thank you for you guys in terms of the comments? I haven't checked the comments for a little while. I don't know why. Like, I never get negative comments, basically, and I really appreciate that about the community in general. Everyone's just so nice, but people would genuinely seem very concerned, not concerned, but like looking out for each other, looking out for my mental health as well. And that's awesome. I hope you take that kind of attitude into real life towards other people as well, because that's good. I'm so proud of this community. I'm actually genuinely excited about this season. I feel like there's a lot of positives happening, and we've got a lot to give this year. And I feel like if Lisic can play as well as he has done towards the start of the year, if he plays this well in the Champions League, we could be on for something. I want to see, oh, look at that, great straight in there, What was that for a touch? I'm not going to be angry anymore. I'm just going to laugh. Lisic's picked up. Okay, off to a flyer. I know it's only a bruised shin. Shakhtar like playing it out from the back. Carroll's won it. Can he go? Yes, he can. Carroll with his second goal of the season. That is just plain nonsense there, by the way. We've benefited off of that because I would be furious if that was my player. But what I would say, the fact that we've pushed up so high on them has really cost them. Tonali, terrible touch. Carroll wins the ball. Complete composure there from the youngster. Lovely stuff. From the huge Polish international, second of the year for him. Long may it continue. Almeida with the massive header. Carroll with the flick on. For Posse, all the way through. Oh, what a wonderful finish from Posse. This is some seriously good football we're playing at the moment. Chance creation is top notch. The football is top notch. Carroll has just got that additional height. This is great as well. Wonderful header from Almeida. Carroll knocks this down brilliantly, and for Posse just creates his own space, drives into the box and just bends one top corner. Bam, 2-0. Lovely old job. Orozco. For Posse, bends inside. Oh, what a lovely, lovely finish from Kelvin for Posse. It's 3-0. I don't know if that deflected or not, but if that didn't, that is an incredible little reverse finish. I think it must have deflected. I don't think the game has that function in it. Really nice work again, though, on the edge of the box for Orozco, just to put this around the corner for Posse. He's got a lot of work to do here, and I don't think it actually does. It deflects, but it doesn't seem to take it away from there. 5th of the season for Posse, 3-0. Oh, the actual presence of mind to play it out to Almeida, but he does have great... he's a ball-playing defender by trade, so it's not a bad option to have, really. Marlon, driving in. Can he find a ball across? He can! And it's come off the defender, I think, in the end. It's going to be an own goal by Christophe Vincent, and that is now 4-0. Really, really cushy result, to be honest. But still, the build-up play was very, very nice again. Carroll has such a wonderful driving, dribbling play that the others don't really have that about them. It's dreadful defending there. A bit unfortunate, really, not to give that to Ushakov, really, but Carroll, all the way out wide for Posse. Tons of room. Oh, it's going to... surely the referee should have let that one go. 4-0 up. Comfortable result in the end. 2 goals for Posse, 1 for Carroll, and an own goal in there too. Montañez, 7.5. Not a bad performance and a 4-0 victory. Very, very nice. Only a couple of days out for a bruised shin. That's fine. So, next episode is going to be Bruges away and Dortmund away. 2 really crucial away games. I want to be on at least 7 points after that episode to keep us going at the top of the group. That's the main thing for us, but a really good start. Won every game so far this season. Looking very, very nice indeed. I think this could be the year that we really do take it to Europe and try and win 1 more Champions League on YouTube. I'd love to win 3. Anyway, if you've enjoyed this and you're looking forward to the final season in this format, then of course do drop a like on the video. That would mean the world to me. It just helps us up the algorithm and all that nonsense. And if you're new to the channel, hit that subscribe button. The big red one beneath looks like reindeer's nose. Yeah, hit that too. That'll be awesome, and I'll see you guys soon. Thank you so much for watching. See you guys tomorrow. Bye-bye.